Hey guys, this is Damon Rawls with the Black Business Coaching Club, and here with another interview of great business owners connected to our Black business directories that we have across the country. And we're going to be talking to a dope business owner in Knoxville, Tennessee today, and none other than Mr. Shawnry Baker, the CEO of Coulis Beard Company. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing well, man. How you doing, Dan?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you.
Hey,
So
appreciate you having
tell the people about yourself, Sean.
me.
Seanry.
No, yes, sir. Well, hey, just like Damon said, my name is Shawnry Baker. I'm originally from South Georgia. Me and my family moved up here to Knoxville about 8 going on 9 years now. When we moved up here, we moved from Valdosta. Me and my wife, we went to Valdosta State University. I've been married to my wife for 16 years now. We have two daughters, 13-year-old, and we also have a 10-year-old. So my hands are full a little bit when it comes to that, man. I'm seeing all those different stages that people warned me about, and I don't even know. I'm just getting into the teen stage, so we'll see. I've been trying to prepare myself, but I don't think you can.
Nothing you can do.
I
Nothing
don't
you
think
can
there's nothing you can do to prepare. You can just be scared. That's all you can.
you just take what you get, man. You just hold on.
Hey, all right, well, we moved up here from South Georgia. I'm originally from Charlton County, a place called Folkestone, Georgia. And when I describe that to people, I'm like, it's as far south as you can get. It's actually that little part that dips into Florida. 5 minutes from the Florida line. It takes me about 45 minutes to get to Jacksonville, Florida. Anyway, my wife is from the neighboring county, Camden County. So I ended up moving up here for job. I'm a speech and language pathologist, so I work for a private practice and contract into the school system. And my wife was a former employee for the Knox County school system, and now she works for the University of Tennessee. So that's how we ended up getting plugged here in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, okay. Well, see, I mean, okay, you both are working folks. Man, what made you chase this entrepreneurial journey? I mean, this is a hard thing. You got a good life going. You're making money. Why would you chase this thing, man?
See, that's the thing, man. I wasn't chasing this thing at all. It's almost like I was minding my business, and that thing came in, and it got my attention. Like seriously,
Mm-hmm.
I tell people it happened on accident, on purpose. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I look at this whole thing, man. I started off with me having an issue. I had an issue. Well, first of all, let me get back here because I'm looking at your hair, man. I'm a little bit jealous, but
My luxurious locks.
you have options. You have options. Man, I used to have a full head of hair too, man. I show people the pictures, man. I had the little hair braided and everything coming down to my shoulders. And, at one point, I always said if I got to that point where this started leaving, I'm going to make a decision. And I did. No George Jefferson in my household. It was only one of him. So anyway, I made that decision. But then I started noticing that I can grow facial hair. So I started focusing on the beard. I noticed when I was getting close to my wife, she would always pull back and she was like, you're pricking me. And I'm like, well, dog, like, come on, man. I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, I'm just trying to grow a beard here. Like all this gone, I'm just trying to grow a beard. I would get close to her, lay my head on her shoulder. She said, you're pricking through my shirt. And I'm like, okay, now this is a problem. Any
Mm-hmm.
husbands out there, if you have a problem when it comes to your wife, you're going to move heaven and earth to find a solution. So
Yes.
I ended up doing that, but as I noticed, women were far along in the self-care than a lot of men are.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know anything about a routine as far as like a beard regimen and all this stuff. So I ended up looking at it and I found out there was some beard care products out there. I tried 3 different products. I noticed some improvement in my beard, but I wasn't completely satisfied. I just felt like it could do a little bit more. So that's when I started doing research, and I developed something that ended up working for me that I like. So I started sharing the products with my family and my friends, just to try to get some feedback to see if they saw the same results that I was seeing. And it was along those same lines. So they kept saying, man, you start selling. I'm like, nah, this is just for me only, nothing like that. I wasn't intending to do that. So they kept saying, no, you should sell. You said, so no, are you going to purchase from me? I was like, well, if you say, yeah, I'll sell it to you. So that's how I had my first clientele right there, family and friends. But then they kept pushing me, man. I think you should start a business. And I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. They kept doing the same thing. So anyway, when COVID hit, all of that they were telling me before came back to light. And I was like, you know what? I think we might need to have some additional income streams, just in case something, might get a little pause on this side. We still might have some others generating. So we formed it was during COVID, about a little over 2.5 years now. We've been in business with Coulis Beard Company.
Nice. I mean, 2.5 years, you made it through the first year. That's the killer year for most businesses. So you made it through the first year. What, 80% die year one. So kudos to you. You're in year 2. Now you just got to get to year 5 and beyond. But that's an interesting story. So let me ask you this. Now, you started and it's the friends and family buying from you. It's your boys, your brothers and cousins. Now, I know maybe you still didn't think you had something because this is family buying from you. Family is different. It's different to go outside of family, friends and family. So how did you feel once people outside of your circle started to consume the brand?
Well, I will say this, just like you're saying, I was only taking that so far, but now it's one cousin of mine that I really did value his opinion, because this is when I first started. I shared it with him and he was like, man, you said that product you gave me, he was like, it's good. He said, but that balm you gave me, it dried my beard out. I was like, whoa, that's the first time I ever heard that. But I'm like, I appreciate that, because that allowed me to get back in the lab. And now we formulated something that across the board, we've been getting nothing but positive reviews. But if it wasn't for him being honest with me, we would have continued putting that out and it wouldn't have been, the best. So, but the main thing that came was when, because African-American business owner, you would probably assume that this is probably for Black beards. When I started getting feedback from other races, about the feel in beard, the overall health, just the glow, the softening of the beard, the skin, because what these products do, they nourish the skin underneath the beard. All that dry skin, itchiness, irritation, inflammation. I don't know if you've ever seen guys, especially when they wear black shirts and they have all this little, they call it beard. Exactly. They have all this dandruff. Man, come on, you're too grown to be going around with flakes all on your shirt, man. Like you look really nice, you're dressed up well. Let's just go ahead and get that part taken care of, okay? And then also some other individuals, they have issues with putting products and applying products to their beard, and all of a sudden they have these little oil stains around their collar because of the products. But one thing that we've been getting feedback from was some customers say it doesn't matter how little or how much we use of the oil, it doesn't get any greasier or oilier, if that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, because there's a such thing as greasy oils, semi-greasy oils, and non-greasy oils. So we balance that ratio in order for us to get it just right, so you don't have to deal with those issues. But when we started getting feedback from other races, that's what really let us know that we're on to something.
I it's funny. I can't. You talk about being jealous of my locks, and if I were you, I would be jealous of my locks. I mean, they are luxurious. I take good care of them. But brother, I cannot grow a beard.
Okay,
it's not in our genetics. Like this. The sides, I can't get that. All I get is the goatee and mustache. So like that's it. That's all we can grow. And I've grown this my whole life. Like I'll grow it long and then I'll cut it and grow it. So I've been able to grow it forever. And but I do know what you're talking about the dirt. I mean, not the dry skin underneath. Like it becomes very annoying, and then you're sitting there. You do this a few times and you're like, wait a minute.
Yep.
It's like hair dandruff, right?
That's
like,
it.
Excuse me. And so you do get some oils and get right, but then you're greasy and you're like, yeah, man. Yeah. So man, that's dope. That's dope. So how many products do you offer in what you offer? I mean, what all do you have?
Well, currently, Coulis Beard Company, we have beard oils, beard butters, and beard balms. We look to expand the line even further coming into next year. We'll look forward to carrying a beard wash. That should be our next product that we're going to be releasing. Some additional apparel, but even after the beard wash, be looking for us to continue to add to our store, so to speak. But right now we have beard oils, beard butters, and beard balms. And I'll just go ahead and explain the difference in the products.
I was about to ask.
Okay.
But okay, good.
Hey, go ahead and ask. Go ahead and ask.
So Shawnry, what is the difference between a balm and a butter?
All right. So what I'll do is we'll start with the beard oil and we'll work our way around. Okay. So with the beard oil, in our beard oil, we have 13 different carrier oils in our blend. We use that same blend from our beard oil in our butters and in our balms. But then the difference between the butter and the balm, matter of fact, it might make a little bit of, okay, let me hold this up. This is our beard oil. Okay. We have 13 different carrier oils in our beard oil. We use that same carrier oil blend in our butter and in our balms. Now, the difference between the butter and the balm is both of these, they're going to have that same carrier oil blend, but then we add a tri-blend of butters, cocoa butter, shea butter, and mango butter. The difference between this butter right here and this balm, we add a level of beeswax to increase the hold to shape and tame flyaways. So you're going to get no hold from our oil. You're going to get a mild hold from the butter, and you're going to get more of a medium hold from our balm. Now, all of them, like I said before, are going to nourish the skin underneath the beard. I look at it almost like if you're driving and riding through a neighborhood and you see this one house and they have this lush green grass, and then you drive a couple houses down and you see this yard and it has brown spots and little dead spots in this patchy. What's the difference? They both can grow grass, but what's the difference? One is probably feeding and fertilizing the soil underneath. The other one is just letting whatever happen. They cut the grass and that's it. It's almost like an individual who's growing a beard and all they do is just go to the barber and just get a haircut. That's what that one yard is doing. But the other one, they're treating the soil underneath. So all of that dry soil that you have, they're tilling it and making sure that everything is fertilized. So now it grows a little bit healthier, and you can see the difference when you pass by. So that's just like individuals that's taking care of their beards. Excuse me. Some you can just see it. It's just glossing and glistening, especially when the sun hit it. It just looks healthy. And then the other one just looks dry. And then, like you say, you might have this going on underneath, the beard on your shirts as well.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. So, okay, let me ask you this: since you and your wife run the business, but both of you have full-time jobs and actual family, what was your growth strategy in growing the company, since you had to do it outside of working the way you work?
This was the main point of growth for us was this past summer. Things shut down in the schools, and with where I work, with the company I work, you can either choose to go salary or per session. Let's just say I'm not salary. So if I don't have a kid in front of me, guess what? I don't get paid. So school shut down. A lot of those home visits that we would normally do in the summer, those were not available anymore. So we ended up getting a teletherapy platform, but it still diminished your caseload to a certain degree. So what I ended up doing was this past summer, I say, let's just focus on Coulis. I had a lot of time on my hands. Let's just push it. All of these markets, we were applying for any and everything, just trying to get our name out there. That was the main goal. Just get our name out there, let people see us, let people talk to us and hear about us, and we can tell our story. And a lot of times people just don't really know. So them being able to engage with us and let us being able to share the benefits of these products really help big time. And then social media. If we show up for an event, you weren't there, we're going to let you see what we did. That was the main thing, because even the company that does our website, web design, they offered us, a media package or a marketing package, should I say. I was like, well, that's good to have as a fallback, but I don't know what we can do yet. Let us see what we can do first, and then we can always go back to that. So that's kind of what we were gearing up for this past summer, and that's really helped us out big time.
Yeah, because you guys do a lot of not fairs, but like live events. You're at places
Mm-hmm.
with the booth set up, and I see you at unique places too. So I'm always surprised, like food truck parks and stuff. And hey man, I'm a marketing guy. You know, I do marketing. That's what I do every day. And so
Uh-huh.
I actually looked at what you did and I was like, good job. Good job. So kudos to you, man. I like, yeah.
Like what you're saying, a lot of people, they always ask me the question, hey, you guys in the barbershops, you guys getting in the barbershops? I'm like, that's the obvious, right? Beard products, barbershop. That's the obvious. But I'm always thinking beyond, outside of the box. Beards don't just go to barbershops. Beards are in coffee shops, at breweries. They're at the donut shop, like all pastries everywhere. They're in the supermarket, man. So think about it. We are in a coffee shop. We're located. Our products. When you go get your coffee, you can go purchase your beard products. Like, that's thinking
Wait a
outside
minute,
of the
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't gloss over that. Did you just say you guys have your product set up in a coffee shop?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. the beard,
I love that.
the
I love it.
beardless don't just purchase lattes. Now, think about that now. And it's been it's been going really well for us. I will say it's been going well because now we're expanding and we're offering in so many different environments to where it's easily attainable. But also, we had somebody come yesterday to one of our events, and this lady told me, she said, I've been following you guys for over a year now. And she said, I've finally been able to make it out. And really, the bell rung. I'm like, she's been following us for a year. A year ago, everything that we've been doing up until this point finally paid off for her. So
Mhm.
who knows, like the interactions that you're going to be having, forget all the likes and all of this stuff. People see it. The fact that it's out there and you have platforms, that's the main thing.
Yeah. And you have longevity, right? You've been in business for a while. Even though it's to you, you're like, oh, I've only been in business a year.
Mm,
But a year is 12 months. That's a long time for somebody.
right.
And somebody goes, "Oh, you're still in, they're still around," which means it's a solid product.
Hmm.
It's doing its thing, it's quality. So now, and some people may be going, "Oh, now I can invest in it. Now
Yeah.
I can spend my hard-earned money in it because I don't see any backlash from what they're selling. I don't see, bad comments, etc. I'm only seeing good stuff happen. So it's time for me to go for it, right?"
Right.
Um, and I've had clients I've written proposals for hire. I had a client this 6 months, 6 years, I'm sorry. They were a nonprofit, a large nonprofit, but they had just started when I gave them a proposal. And then 6 years later,
Hmm.
the CEO reached out and said, "Hey, um, are you still in the business?" I was like, "Yes." And she asked for what I had originally. She said, "I know that your prices has changed." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely."
They say they better.
But that was 6 years because I've been in the
Yeah.
game a long time, and so she
Right.
knew to reach out, and she tried, and it turned into something,
That's
right?
good. Yeah.
Um, and I was able to get a check, but which matters. But man, that's cool. That's cool that, like, because I watch you and I know you guys go to all kinds of stuff, but that's dope that you're in a coffee shop. Because you're offering beard products, right? And there's a whole culture of beard folks who go, like you said, they go to breweries,
Hmm.
they're at coffee shops, they're everywhere. Outside of the barbershop. Yeah.
Right.
So you want to be in a barbershop. That's a duh.
Hmm.
Yeah. But no, that's cool. Let me ask you, how did the coffee shop relationship happen? Was that
Man,
happenstance or was that intentional, something you sought out?
man, you already know about this with what you guys offer, with the Black Business Directory, as far as networking and different
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Um, when we started this Coulis Beard Company. Now, if you notice and you went to our website, or either if you stopped by one of our booths, you would notice the names of the different fragrances. Like right now, this is Bear Mountain. So we have Bear Mountain, Black Bottom, Sticks, Thomas Camp, Black, different things like that. So those are all named after the area where I grew up in. So I grew up in a place called the Sticks. As I got older, we later moved to Black Bottom. So what happened, our first ever market was we did a festival back home. I'll say it only feels right if we just do our first one back home. So that was in South Georgia. We came back up here, and a friend of mine who was already doing markets up here in the area, when I'm like, now I got to tap in up here because this is where we are. He couldn't make it because it was an illness in the family. So he was like, hey, would you fill in? I'm like, dog, man, you talking about tomorrow? And he hit me up that night before. And I'm like, well, hold on. I can't say yes right now. Let me go check the inventory. I said, if the inventory looks right, we'll do it. I checked the inventory. I said, babe, we going there tomorrow. So she was like, well, you go ahead. I'm not going. So I ended up going, man, and setting up. And that's where I met. He didn't have his coffee shop at that point in time. He was doing the event as well because he does furniture work as well. His name is Tito. So, man, great furniture. I mean, Tito Wilson Designs, he does great. A lot of people know him in the area, but that's where we formed a relationship. I respected his work. He respected ours. So over time, just establishing those relationships, he was like, this was always my dream to own a coffee shop. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought you was all about furniture. So he opens a coffee shop, and guess what? He knows about Coulis. He respects our products. He good quality. He said, I want to carry those in our shop. And they're located in Hardin Valley. It's called Sanago Coffee Company. Sanago Coffee Company in Hardin Valley. And you can find Coulis products in there. So that's kind of how that came about. But when we met at a coffee shop because they were holding a market. It was Golden Roast. Golden Roast was holding a market. And that's where we met.
Wow.
Networking, man.
Hey, listen, and I try to tell people about it. Networking is paramount, man. And it's not about what you can get either. And that's one mistake that people make about networking is that they'll meet somebody and they want to ask for stuff or they want to do, try to connect. Hey, man, I just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
And if you take a moment to get to know the person who's sitting in front of you, there may be some synergy, there may not. Or you may be able to turn them on to something that could help their business grow later on. Right? You can find something, because the bigger you can grow your network, and if you can become a center of influence for people and they know to reach out to you because you're the plug, like, I mean, if they know you the plug, then they can say, hey man, I'm looking for XYZ. I think I know a guy. Let me make a phone call. Right. And if you can be that person, it's nothing but beneficial. And it creates these emotional voids where if you always helping somebody and you're always helping, then they feel like, hey, I need to help them. So they feel obligated to help you at some point. So man, that's good, man. I didn't know we were gonna hit the networking point, but that was a good one. I love that. But I've watched you, and I think you guys are dope in how you're always in the market, because one thing about small businesses too is that people want to interact with the business. They don't. Yes, we live in an online world, but people crave interaction. People crave that interaction. So being able to meet you and take a picture with you or meet your wife and touch and hold a product and feel the test product on the beard. And I'm sure that goes a long way.
Man, it does. And one of the things that I like, and I always said this, because I don't know exactly, you can have projections and where you want your business to go, but you really don't know, until you get to that point and say, oh, I reached these goals, these milestones, or I haven't. So I really don't know. But I always said it doesn't matter where this thing goes. Like, say, for instance, we're here right now and then we're here a few years from now. Like, I'm still going to be present. Like, I'm still going to be going out. Like, I want to be visible because I'm telling you, I've seen the difference in being in front of someone. And it was, I noticed this sometimes. Some guys with beards, I'm not going to come out from behind my booth and say, hey, come over here. Like, I don't do that. Like, I'm not a salesman. Like, I don't do that. I hate it when people, the individuals would come to my house trying to sell the vacuum cleaners. Like, dude, man, I didn't call you over here for an appointment. Like, really? I'm not all about that. And I was like, I can't see myself going in someone's house trying to sell them something, especially if it's not on the high priority list of like, okay, you need food every day. This is something you need. You don't necessarily need a new vacuum cleaner when the one that I have has been working for me. But what about all that dust and dirt underneath? Well, guess what? I don't see that. I haven't been having those issues. And if you wouldn't care, I don't care about that right now. No one going in the hospital because the doctor found out my carpet is just filthy. So whatever. But what I'm trying to say is I don't do that when I'm out in public because I don't see myself as being a salesman. I don't try to sell these products. I try to set up and present just like you walking, you see that this is a beard company. If you want to stop, you'll stop. I don't have to tell you, hey, I'm a beard company. Come over here. No, I don't do that. I don't stop people. So when I see people walk by and sometimes they're like, oh, I'm like, you keep walking. I'm not going to try to stop you. But also when the females say, hey, maybe you should try this. Not, well, I don't know. I don't need that. And she was like, look at your shirt. You got that. Like we were talking about before with Daniel. I say, dude, how about this? If you would please, that's the only time I would call somebody. If you don't mind, come over here. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to educate you because before I knew anything about these products, I didn't know anything about them. So I just want to talk to you about them. So I tell them, how they can improve and help and all of this stuff. And then by the end of the conversation, I say, dude, feel no obligation to purchase anything. All I wanted to do was just shed some light on it. Then all of a sudden they might make a purchase based on that. But I'm like, I just wanted to educate because when I had my issue, I had no one to talk to. I just had to go out and try and test. And I'm like, well, I see some improvement, but I still don't like these. If someone could help guide me, that's all I'm trying to do because of my own personal experiences.
Nice, man. So what's next for the brand?
Well, what we're focusing on now is expanding our product line because I've been listening to feedback. Some females use our products as well, but it's not like we have a line geared towards females. That's something that we've been looking into as well because some females use our oils on the hair. Also with our butter, use them on the skin. Like my wife uses it. My wife has natural hair. She uses the oils on her hair and our daughter's hair, and some other females have been using those as well. Use the butter in tandem with some of the lotions, and it goes a long way. But we've been looking at possibly, I don't know, down the line, maybe having a women's line, but we're focusing on these shampoos first of all. Some other companies have been reaching out to us about some of the products that they carry, and we're like, maybe we'll look into that as well, like beard combs and the different, just a lot of different accessories and stuff like that. But as far as the company, I will say since year 1 to year 2, it's even surprised me. And I'm like, if year 3 is anything like year 1 to 2, which I still see that, like it's growing. That's, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. Year 1, it was just us. We had a website, but nobody really knew the website. We had to get all that stuff out there. We were going in front of people and selling right in front of people. But now think about it. We still do market, so we're visible. You can buy your purchase, your products right there on site. We have this website now that more people know about what they're purchasing. We have wholesale orders that we're doing right now that you can purchase. I mean, it's just all these different ways where the business is growing. And it's a good feeling when you're lying in your bed watching the movie with your wife, and then all of a sudden, cha-ching. I'm out here doing yard work. I have my headphones on. Cha-ching. I'm like, dude, that's the key. So to continue to grow our online business as well as continuing to show up, I think if we continue on this trajectory and continue with our marketing strategy and always improve, because I still have a lot of ideas that I've just been sitting on that I can't wait to release. I think that is going to continue to move us forward into where we want to eventually be.
Nice, nice, man. Well, man, that's good stuff, man. I love it, love it. It's growing. You're killing it, man. I mean, I've seen you. I watch it. I watch. I watch a lot of people from the back. We're the directory, so I like having people on the directory, but I'm back here like just watching,
Mm-hmm. Well,
watching.
hey, well, hey, also, man, I'm gonna need to pick your brain too, man, from what you're watching and what you're seeing. I want you to be able to shed some light, even outside of this video, what you see that in your opinion that's been working well, and how ways that we can improve. Like, I don't feel like we always that I know all of the answers. I'm always open to feedback, and when people give me feedback, it's up to me to take what it is that I want or I don't want to use if I feel like it's gonna be applicable. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, look, none of us are experts. Nobody. That's business owners listening to this. If somebody tells you they're an expert in business and they know everything, run, because they lying.
He said, "Get away."
They are lying because there are no books on this thing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care. You can go to you can go to Wharton School of Business, but
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing that teaches you, like, all of that is theory until you're in the game
Yeah.
building a product, getting that product in somebody's hand, finding a pricing model that works, finding a marketing strategy that works for
Mm-hmm.
your lifestyle too. And
Yeah.
and people, there's a lot of theories and ideas. Oh, I'm just gonna be an online company. Okay, okay. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe listen, I actually was having this conversation earlier this morning. I sat in a pitch competition with some kids 15 years ago that were pitching a crypto exchange.
Mm.
And it was so far ahead of its time that they did not win and did not win any money and did not move forward because they were told that that was not a good idea.
Mm.
But we know Coinbase,
Mm-hmm.
Binance, our crypto exchange, like, it was a thing, but it wasn't a thing 15, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Like, but no one prepared them for that. So I mean, I'm saying all that to say, listen, sometimes you just got to make a solid idea, go after it, and make your adjustments as you're moving down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I want these interviews to be. Is something that people can hear from people who are actually on the ground doing the thing, man. And you
Yeah.
still have your job and you still work and your wife
Mm-hmm.
still works.
Yeah.
And in y'all downtime, you making butters and bombs and out there slinging butters and bombs. Why you taking the girls to soccer and you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And I'm not gonna lie, man. At one point, I was asking for more than 24 hours in the day. I was like, I feel like I need it, but no, all I needed was better time management. Like, that is key. Managing your time, and that's something that I didn't really have control over, and still right now I'm not the best that I can possibly be, but I am making improvements. But that is the key. I don't care how much you ask for more time, you're not going to get it. You have 24 hours, but how can you maximize those times? Because sometimes I was busy working in things that I can get done, let's just say in 5 hours, it would take me 6 and 7, and now I wasted 2 hours or so because I'm like, man, I should have been done. But guess what? I wasn't even fully engaged because I didn't have enough rest the night before. So now I'm halfway doing things, and it's like not halfway doing the product or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I'm not all the way in there
Right.
like I needed to be, to where, man, I would have had this already down and I could have been on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. So I ended up spending much more time than I that really needed to be on average, when if you were really well rested, your
Mm-hmm.
mind is clear, that you could have just been in and out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're right. You're right, man. That's 100%. You gotta focus. You gotta focus in, and you gotta. I have learned. I and learn how you work best. Right.
Yeah.
I work best in chunks. I chunk my work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a person who can sit down and just 8 hours, boom, 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 boom. But I can turn off all my alerts. I can do everything, turn off the TV, everything, and I can just focus in for like 2 to 3 hours at a time,
Okay.
and I can knock a lot out
Yeah.
because I can just go hard. But I'm zoned in on one project. I
Mm-hmm.
don't multitask. I don't multitask because multitask is a lie. I just drill in real hard on
Yeah.
one thing and I knock it out, and then I move on to the next thing, and I work in chunks, and then I stop, breathe, chill out for a second, then I go back in another chunk of time. So
That's
yeah,
good, man.
it's me learning how you work is paramount and what's
Mm-hmm.
best for you. And sometimes you can do it on 2 hours of sleep. I can't. I need at least 4 to function. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't function good early morning. My stuff, I'm good in the afternoons. Like my brain is
Yeah.
in late evening. I'm
Mm-hmm.
on it. But
Yeah.
you get me 5 a.m. I'm a zombie.
See, that's the thing, man. When I was in college, I was working and then I was going to class. So some semesters I had my shift at my job where I would work right before class started and I would go right to class. And then some semesters I would work or go to class and then go right to work. So for me, the best time for me to do schoolwork was in the middle of the night, wee hours of the morning. But it doesn't work that way. Like I still have that same pattern now because I look at it as I have a family. I'm gonna spend time with them throughout the course of the day. I'm gonna give them my attention. It's quiet during the night. Everybody's asleep. I don't have anybody interrupting me. But dude, when you when you're a husband and you travel and you working and all of this, sometimes that's not the best idea. But I can't seem to shake it at this point because I'm trying to figure out when is that time during the day that allows me to do
Mhm.
that without taking away. So I'm still trying to balance that. Now, are things getting taken care of? Pretty much they're getting taken care of, but I think it's a more effective and efficient way for me to do it. And that's why I'm working with that time management thing right now. And it's good to hear how you're doing that. And I've been listening to a lot of other people to try to figure out, okay, I didn't think about that. Okay, maybe I can try this and we'll see what works out for the individual because that's really key. What works out best for you? And like you were talking about with time management, also with your business as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the way we work, our work is primarily projects. So I can go in on a project
Mm-hmm.
and not have to touch anything else. And so that's
Yeah.
why for me it works because we can chunk. Plus
Yeah.
um for the folks who, when I say multitasking isn't real, I don't mean that it's not something that you can do, but you can't give 100% to multiple things, just like you were talking about. And what happens is you have this cost. It's an opportunity cost that you lose. So let's say you're at this level right here, and then you start answering emails, or you're writing a report, and you start, and you're in the zone. You're like right here, you're in the zone, and you're jamming, and then an alert or your phone call happens. Well, you take the phone call and then you drop back a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then your energy has to rev back up. Your focus got to rev back up, but you just lost a percentage of working efficiency. So you didn't have to work to get back. And then you get an email. Oh, I stopped to read the email, and then you drop back down again. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean. Like for the folks listening when I say it doesn't work. But if you just focused in, you hit the zone here and you game tight, boom, you just
Yeah.
in the work, and then you can stop and grab and do everything else. So it's
Yeah.
just my philosophy. Hey,
it
I'm
makes
no
sense though,
expert.
man.
This is what I know what works for me. So
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. And some of the readings that I've read about time management and such. But man,
Mm.
I know time is valuable for you. And I want to wrap it up here. But tell the people where they can find you, any fairs locally that you're going to be at, but also, your socials and your website. And I'll put those in the comments as well. I mean, in the description as well, but if you mind.
Oh, okay. Well, the website, if you look at that spelling right there, that's on the screen. It's Coulis. It's Coulis. So coulisbeardco.com is the website. You can look us up on IG at coulisbeardco. You can find us on Facebook at Coulis Beard Company LLC. And then our next market that we have coming up is Small Business Saturday on the 26th. We'll be in downtown Maryville. That's how they say Maryville. I came up here saying Maryville, and that was like a
no, it's Maryville, brother.
exactly.
Maryville.
So I'm trying to get used to saying that the incorrect way, which is the correct way. So downtown Maryville at their holiday market. Well, why do they call Mary Mary?
I don't know.
If that's her name, why don't they call her Murr? Okay, I don't know. But anyway, downtown Maryville, we will be there for their holiday market. So if you need some stocking stuffers this year, or if you just want to ask us some questions, just come check us out, man. That's our next one. And we'll probably be doing a post about that sometime this week. We normally try to give people a few days ahead of time to plan to meet us wherever we're going to be. So
cool. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up here, folks, but thank you for listening and sitting and hanging out with me and Shawnry as we discuss business and Coulis Beard Company. But we do these interviews weekly where I interview somebody in one of the cities that we run directories in. And this is one of our great Knoxville owners and just a dope individual. So if you out and you see him, check him out. Say what's up, follow him on Facebook, go to his website, get some butter for your beard and some oil, get right so you won't have dandruff on you sitting there doing this. And and like and follow the channel because there are more interviews like this and some educational stuff. So with that, I want to end the show. So thank you for watching.
appreciate it.